Salutations, Internet Traversers, and welcome to the first segment of Karate Talk. My name is Kevin, and this is my man Chuck. I'm doing this because I am sick of mainstream media and the prolific news giants that refuse to report on meaningful news. I am tired of biased, scripted, conservative rhetoric, so I decided to search the internet, find some stories that I found interesting, and give my 2 cents on said stories. Because I'm really sure YouTube and the people who use it are just breaking their necks to hear some skinny young brother bitch and moan about how terrible a country he lives in, or we live in, depending on who is watching, if anybody. But with that being said, let's get on into it. First story, not really story, more of an update. And that update is about marijuana and its legalization or lack thereof. So Colorado and Washington legalized weed in like 2012, and drug advocates and weed enthusiasts like myself were hoping that drug arrests would decrease. You poor damn fools. They did decrease for some people. Black people are still disproportionately arrested, more than twice as likely to be arrested than their white counterparts, even though drug uses across racial lines is virtually similar, and white folks are more likely to be dealing. Now, this isn't just me saying that. This comes directly from an FBI study, Uniform Crime Reports. Look this up. Headed under one Mike Malz from the Center of Juvenile and Criminal Justice. He said in an interview with the Washington Post that, and I quote, "The forces that contribute to racial disparities under prohibition are clearly in place after legalization." I'm gonna read that again. The forces that contribute to racial disparities under prohibition are clearly still in place after legalization. No shit, Mike. That's because we live in the United States, the land of the free and the over-incarcerated, the home of the brave and the yellow-bellied, gutless, trigger-happy, militarized police force. Now, you have law enforcement agencies all over the country that operate under and enforce aggressive, oppressive drug policies that disproportionately affect black people. To think that legalizing marijuana without changing any drug policies as it pertains to like policing and sentencing is absolutely naive. I mean, this is Jim Crow incarnate. These drug laws that we're talking about, these drug policies that we're talking about, non-violent low-level offenders, an overwhelming majority of them being black, are being slapped with felonies, minimum mandatory sentences, and are spending decades in prison, and then are excluded from participating constructively in society. Mass incarceration is a cancer, really, and it's been feeding off the black community. Now, you look at the 80s, for instance, mass incarceration and the war on drugs are already a harsh reality for black America, thanks in part to Nixon. But you look at Reagan, and he only castrates the community further by flooding urban cities with crack and then punishing the addicts that he created with extensive jail time, with extensive prison time. Bill Clinton only exacerbated the war on drugs and mass incarceration with his 1994 crime bill. Now we see the effects of such racist policy. 1 in 3 black men can expect to have their right to vote stripped from them. Something like 1.5 million black men between the ages of 25 and 45 are missing from everyday life due to incarceration or early death, or death at the hands of those who are meant to protect and serve us. With that being said, let me get to what's really pissing me off. White America is in the midst of the worst epidemic that is illicit drug abuse in the history of this nation. It's super Breaking Bad out here. I mean, you can't turn on the cable news without hearing about how some white kid OD'd on his mom's prescription painkillers. I mean, it's that much of a problem in the white community. And how are these addicts being treated? Are they, facing demonization and vilifying rhetoric on the behalf of the mainstream media? Hell no. Are they being brought to heel via heavy police presence? Do you see hella police in SWAT gear, running through America's most affluent white suburbs? Hell no. Are they being penalized by aggressive discriminatory policies? Hell no. As I alluded to earlier, whites have shorter sentences, and they're less likely to be arrested for possession than blacks are, even though they're more likely to be dealing. If that isn't hypocrisy, then I don't know what is. Are you beginning to see a pattern here, interneters? Are you beginning to smell the unsavory waft of double standard bullshit? No? Is it just me and Chuck? It must be. Well, until next time, YouTube, this has been Karate Talk with Kevin and Chuck, kicking it to you like no one else can. Until next time, peace.